everything at the services. Yeah. Didn't know. And then it was literally while I was sitting there, and to me, it wasn't me, and it was the Holy Spirit. It just happened to, I got up and I said something. Can't tell you what I said.
Me either.
Because I don't remember it at all. But I just know after it, like, everybody was coming up to me, was like, just telling me, like, that's something that I needed to hear. A lot of people say you sound like your mom. What you said up there is something I can hear her voice saying. So it was like, and it wasn't just like one or two people. Yeah. As I was leaving, I just was hearing it from like all the different family members. So it was comforting because, again, like, I'm my mom's only child, technically, because I have other brothers, but my mom raised them as well. Mm-hmm. But still, it was like, all those years of, just having conversation with my mom, all that stuff also rubbed off on me. So I was able to, God gave me the strength to be able to speak, to comfort people there, so.
This is the B-side, 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 the marriage. This is the B-side, 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 the marriage.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the BSide of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Rashonda, and this is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here at the B-side, we talk about everything related to marriage. The good, the bad, the real, the A, and the B-side. So if you're joining us on YouTube, please be sure to rate, review, comment, subscribe, all of the things. And if you're listening, please be sure to do the same, because we want to get more reviews so that more people can find this awesome podcast. And I did say awesome, because we are.
As well, follow us on Facebook at the B-Side of Marriage and on Instagram at BSide of Marriage. Okay.
And before we jump into the episode, we want to preface that we are talking about grief. So if you're dealing with a recent loss of a loved one, or you don't have the emotional capacity to listen right now, mm-hmm. Hey, just join when you do have the bandwidth, because it could get a little heavy. Listen, I'm prepared. I got Kleenex and all the things. So, because we're going there today. So, all right. So now that I gave that little disclaimer, let's talk about our A or B side moment of the week.
Okay, and it's my turn as always. So
yes,
I'm trying to think. I would just say, okay. So my it's gonna be an A side. First off, our soccer team, they played their tails off this past weekend. Almost won. It was very close, and last time we played this team blew them out. Mm-hmm. So it was real good to see the progress of all the kids that, from when they first played them till now. So as well, I could say probably was the first weekend that I didn't have any critiques for my son playing basketball. He was actually hustling. Yes. He was, he got steals. He was getting offensive so I had nothing to critique, because how much effort he put in, and I hope he continues to do that. So, what about you?
I was gonna say A side as well, not related to sports, but we got a chance to have a pretty cool date night.
Oh yeah.
Where we had nice and steamy, like a spa was steamy.
You can't say steamy like that, and then
it's the B-side of marriage.
You said it real slow.
But like we were in the spa, and we were able to cut the tip up and it was cool outside. Yeah. So we got like that Colorado feel. Cut the fire pit on. It was like real cool. And so I thought it was a really cool
that is true.
Date night.
It was.
Even though somebody almost passed out.
Oh yeah.
From dehydration.
Yeah, I think
so. But other than that, it was cool. So that was it. All
right. So we actually next part is the P2P share.
Yes.
Where we share something we're listening to, reading, or watching? All right.
Okay. So for me, we are, our small group, our Connect group is getting ready to do a fast. So I've been trying to get my worship music together, as well as like sermons and stuff, like trying to prepare myself because I'll be taking a pause from my true crime during the fast. So there are a couple of albums that I wanted to recommend, and they are Encounter by Todd Galbraith. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, but you know it. And then as well as Hymns Live by Tasha Cobbs Leonard. These are really to kind of just kind of focus on worship.
Okay.
So yeah. So if you need to add some new tunes to your playlist, check those two albums out.
All right, I ain't got nothing.
All right, well then.
I ain't got nothing, so.
Okay. Well, that was short and sweet. Alrighty. And we are talking about dealing with grief during the holidays. So before we get into kind of like some tactical tips or practical tips, let's talk about our history when it comes to grief and this time of year.
All right, so
We're gonna summarize.
Yeah, so I guess it started in 2014. Mm-hmm. My mom passed the day before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So it was like my mom passed the day before Thanksgiving. Then 2 weeks later,
yep,
my mom's sister passed away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, babe, before you get into the details, let's kind of back up a little bit.
Okay.
So we're blessed to have two families who really got along well with each other.
Yep.
I mean, like when our families got together, you really couldn't tell where one family ended and the other one began because everybody got along. Everybody always wanted to have a good time. Uh-huh. So the holidays was very important to us in like celebrating with family and just, you know, every time we got together, it was kind of like a party.
Pretty much.
Regardless of if it was an official party or not.
Yeah, we was always listening to music, singing,
exactly.
dancing, whatever. So.
Yes, even like when we're just cooking, there's always music playing. There's dancing, impromptu dancing, and definitely impromptu dancing going on.
New edition, yeah.
Yes, well, I mean, it's just, like I said, it just was always fun times.
Yeah.
And so we have recently started kind of celebrating Halloween with the like family costumes and stuff. Like we would do that as a time to get to know our neighbors and stuff.
Like that,
and then not necessarily celebrating Halloween, but you know, just hanging out and doing trunk or treats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, it would be my birthday. My dad's birthday is a week later, Thanksgiving, and then our anniversary is the first week of
December.
December. Yes, and then Christmas.
Correct.
So usually, like when November came in, we were like, we were gonna party to the new year. Yeah. Because it was always gonna be something going on. It was just a matter of where. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now you can jump back into how things start to go downhill.
Okay, so like I guess where do I start?
Well, yeah. So you said about my Adams.
Okay, yeah. So
then Aunt Linda.
Yeah, and Aunt Linda. 2 weeks later. So we literally, like I said, we flew, buried my mom, came back home, and then literally turned right back around and went back to New York.
Yep.
And then 9 months later, that's when her dad passed. In the end of October. And then last year, my close friend Phil passed away right after Thanksgiving. Yeah, right. It was literally right after Thanksgiving.
You forgot about Grandma Queenie.
Yeah, Grandma. No, I didn't forget, but hers was more. It wasn't towards the end of the season, like this year right now. Hers was.
I thought it was toward the end of the year.
Hers, because I couldn't fly to New York. It was earlier. It was during baseball season. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was like, it wasn't towards the end. It was more. it was more during baseball season. I couldn't get off
Okay.
at that time, so that's why I couldn't go
My
to
bad.
the funeral.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so as you can tell, when October hits, it's kind of like we kind of, I'm not say shut down.
It's all
but
the emotions.
It's a lot of emotions.
Because so my dad died on October 24th.
Mm-hmm.
We had his services on Halloween.
Yes.
And that's kind of surreal because it was literally like, the repast is happening. And then the kids are like, but we have these costumes.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to go hang out with their friends because we were in a neighborhood. The neighborhood, like the crew was like, hey, when you guys coming out? Because the kids didn't really understand. Of course, their parents were like, I don't think they're going to, hang out with us this time. So they didn't understand. So having to deal with that. And then, like you said, my Adams passed the day before Thanksgiving. So literally the day you're supposed to be grateful.
Yeah. Thankful. Yeah.
And we're like literally trying to figure out like, well, what's open? Because we had to make like arrangements and then like try to figure out like, were we having services in Houston or were we gonna go back to New York?
Yeah.
Like, so it's literally like, who's worried about turkey and dressing and all that stuff? But then you have people like, because we were going to have things, so it was just like people are around and.
It was a lot.
Right. And so then, even so Phil, it was like we were supposed to have, that was around our anniversary.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to have this big, we were finally being able to travel. We felt like safely. Yeah. So we were going to have this, Caribbean, anniversary celebration. And we had to literally cancel that because we had to travel to New York and dealing with that. So it's just like, it's like constantly. So so when this time of year comes, it's very emotional.
Yes.
Because even though like we're like grieving, and well, not just grieving, but we're remembering the losses.
Yeah.
In our life, we have 3 kids.
Yes.
Who are like, yeah, but
today's the day. Like,
it's like today's the day. Exactly.
Like Thanksgiving, I want some ham.
Like, yes, they're like, where are we going? Because they're like, who's coming? It's like, it's very.
Because they know family. It's family, so they know.
So they're very much in the moment.
Yeah, they want to know what family's coming, when they're going to come.
Yes.
How long they gonna stay? Are they gonna stay over? Like all those questions.
Right. And we had, especially for Christmas, we had this tradition because we have been blessed because we never thought about like, oh, Thanksgiving, who are we gonna, like what family are we gonna be around? Also too, Jay's family does more for Thanksgiving than we do for Christmas. So it's kind of natural, like where we're going to be or who's, what family, whose side of the family we're going to be part of. And then we have this tradition of for Christmas to travel every other year.
Correct.
So.
With COVID.
Oh, and then, so Dad died. That year was a travel year for Christmas, and we did not want to cancel it because we knew he would want us to still go. Talking about emotional.
Yes.
We
went to Mexico.
Yeah. We went to Mexico. Yeah, we went to Mexico. It was so hard because everything just reminded us, oh, Dad would be doing this.
Acting a fool.
And then my Adams would be doing this. Yeah. And it was, So, yes. So, grief teaches us, or there are several things that grief does for us.
Taught us,
it reminds us how precious life is.
Yeah.
And how short life is.
Yeah.
So we have definitely tried to be cognizant that tomorrow is truly not guaranteed.
Correct.
And so we need to live each day like it's our last.
Yeah. And that's something that we try to teach the kids. And I know they hear it and I don't think they get it yet. But, instead of trying to focus on what's happening tomorrow, you know, like my oldest, he's always
Yes.
asking, "Oh, what we have for dinner tomorrow? What about today?" Like, so we always constantly have to do it. And I think it's getting to them, but I don't think they really understand
They
it just
don't.
yet. So, but
Because they're always worried about what's next.
yeah,
And I'm like,
instead
but
of
what
just
is
being in the
now?
moment, being what's
Yeah.
happening right now. So, but yeah, it's like I said, especially during that season, you know, from 2014 to 2015, maybe it was like what? How many months? It was like we had a lot. We had a lot.
Honestly,
of loss
those
that was
years
going-
were blurs.
Yeah, from 2014 to the mid of 2016, maybe. It was just we had a lot of loss that happened. I think it was like 8 or 9 total.
I don't know. It was.
It include like both of us.
I
like,
know,
it
because I was
a
like,
lot.
Uncle Andre
Yeah,
was
that's
actually before Dad in October.
Yeah. So like it was like
I know,
it was a
it's
lot.
just I know, like literally, because it was a lot, and I don't know, I've never really like kind of put it on paper
Yeah.
to like see.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, it's a lot. So one thing our grief has done is also helped us to help others who are losing either parents or really close loved ones.
Yeah.
We've been able to help them walk through the journey.
Yeah.
Also understanding that there's no like A, then B, then C when it comes to, you know, grief, and like it will ebb and flow, and that you just got to feel the feelings whenever they come, and be okay with doing that. And sorry, y'all, we got notes because
I was saying, no, I'll jump in there real
notes.
quick because it wasn't just with others, it was with each
Oh,
of us.
and with
I'll
yes.
say with each of us, because like I
Definitely.
said, you know, when my mom passed, you know, like my wife took care of, like she really just, like I'll say she pushed me, just say sit there and chill, I got everything to take care, she'll ask me questions here and there, but she would kind of do, like she would pretty much do everything. And then, you know.
Right. And so in that moment, this is going to sound crazy, but in that moment, I took on things that I wouldn't normally do because it was not my comfort zone.
Correct.
But I knew that I needed to do that to give him the space to actually grieve. Because like we've mentioned before, Jay is definitely like a jack of all trades. So he likes to take care of others. So he, sorry, see, I had to look down and now a tear escaped. So he wanted to take care of everything. He was like, oh, I can do this, I can do this. I'm like, no, you sit down and you just do what you need to do, or not even what you need to do, or just don't do anything so you can like feel and process and stuff. And
it helped, like I said, it helped because simple fact is like I have a picture of after when my mom passed, and my son, my oldest at the time right now, he was little, so he would always want to get up and go lay in the room with her in her bed.
yes.
So I literally was like, let's go lay in the bed. And I laid in the bed, let him watch TV. And I remember he literally just sat like I had my feet going this way and he sat this way so he can look at the TV. So it's like, even, you know, if I was doing everything for the services as, you know, about trying to get my mom transported to New York, I wouldn't have been able to have those moments with my son, you know, just in those moments and kind of just be in a space where, one, he was comfortable with, that he always wanted to be with my mom, as well as just, like I said, for myself. Like, I needed that time just to, even though she wasn't there, just to be in that space, you know, and just, you know, be a comfort for my son because he didn't really know what was going on, so.
Right. And then, like, that's enough for that one. It also taught us how to rely even more so on God.
Yes. And I guess I'll take that one. Like, we were overwhelmed. Even though she took care of a lot of the things, it was very overwhelming for me as well as, for her and as, for my family.
Also, we were doing something we had not planned.
Yes.
But also this, it wasn't normal. It wasn't a normal situation.
Correct.
Like I said, we were dealing with not just a normal service. It's like, okay, what state are we gonna have it in?
Yes. Yeah.
It was like, yeah. So and that's why I also feel like God had kind of God had prepared us in a way to do it, because I was able to reach out to my godbrother.
Yeah.
And to get advice, and then for him to connect with someone who could be able to help us with it,
yeah.
And so it all worked out. But yeah, go ahead.
But it was like a lot of these things were beyond our own strength, and I'll say it like that, because even the day of the funeral, like I like to talk. I don't want to say it like that, but I can hold conversation, and I like to talk. I didn't know if I wanted to say anything at my mom's at the services. Didn't know. And then it was literally while I was sitting there, and to me, it wasn't me. I know it was the Holy Spirit. It just happened to me. I got up and I said something. Can't tell you what I said.
Me either.
Because I don't remember it at all. But I just know after it, like everybody was coming up to me. It was like, just telling me like, that's something that I needed to hear. A lot of people say you sound like your mom. What you said up there is something I can hear her voice saying. So it was like, and it wasn't just like one or two people.
Yeah.
As I was leaving, I just was hearing it from like all the different family members. So it was comforting because again, like, I'm my mom's only child technically because I have other brothers, but my mom raised them as well. Mm-hmm. But still, it was like, all those years of, just having conversation with my mom, all that stuff also rubbed off on me. So I was able to, God gave me the strength to be able to speak, to comfort people there. So
yeah, no, when you got up, I was like, oh Lord. So, and I just remember I was like, okay, like I'm just waiting for the moment that I have to go up and like support you, because I didn't know when or if anything might hit. Yeah. So I don't know what you said either, but
I didn't cry either. Like I said, I was like, and the thing is, this is like, I wasn't trying not to cry. I just knew in that moment, God said he told me to get up and speak. Mm-hmm. Didn't know what that was, because I remember my uncle was up there talking, and he was like, I do remember this, he was like, do you want to speak, Jane? I was like, I'm good. And then then like that's when I was like, I got up and was like, he was like, oh, he's gonna speak, and like, yeah, because at first I didn't want to say anything, so, but yeah, it was like and I'm not gonna jump back to the point we said before, but one of the things that the scriptures that I remember that I wrote down was, was it? God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in troubled times. Therefore, we will not be afraid, though the earth trembles and the mountain topples into the depths of the sea, though its water roars and foams and the mountains quake with its turmoil. That was something like, for me, is like I was going to God a lot more during that time, just because I didn't know how I was going to get through it. So it was this scripture, and there was another one. Is it on here? Indeed, we felt that we received the sins.
Psalms?
No, the one I just read before was Psalms. I thought. Yeah, but yeah. So that's, I guess that's for me. I guess for you, when I guess we went go 9 months later with your dad. Like, is there anything or,
I mean, no. I just feel like that whole process was leading us to have a deeper connection with God to get us through. And then also too, through both of them, we were dealing with pregnancies.
Yes, that is
So yes.
true. That is true.
So, and that's why I was like, I wish someone would at the at My Adams, because I'm like, listen to the pregnant lady, because the pregnant lady is married to the son, and she's crazy. Because I was gonna protect his feelings and the whole situation. So it was like we, just also too not wanting to embody too much grief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was with my Adams, and then shortly thereafter, my dad died. Then we got our unexpected blessing.
Yes.
So yeah, and then with Micah, it was kind of the same thing. It was just like not wanting to kind of hoard any of that.
Yeah, and even I said this, during the time, even I guess after it, that because we had, like she said, we had the, what's the word? We was able to have both our sets of parents living with us, and we had we had got a house for a certain amount of people. So this person can have a room. This person can have a room. This person can have a room. So
the kids can have their space.
Yeah.
We can have our spaces.
My mom. So like I said, my mom passed away. We got our daughter. Yeah. Then her dad passed away. Then we got our son. So the house that we was, that we was building for, it was going to sustain the people that God already knew He was going to bring forth for us.
Yeah.
So.
But that house we didn't build.
Huh?
That house we didn't finish building.
No. Yeah, that house we didn't finish building.
Because God was also looking out for us, because it would not have been, that was not the house to help to be, that was not the house for all of our people to live in.
Yeah, it was a lot of stairs.
Yeah, it was a lot of stairs. It was, So, we didn't get, but anyways, and I was like, we dealt with a lot. So that's why I was like, I don't have anything to add, only that, but God.
Yeah.
Because God literally carried us through us getting, us figuring out that was not the house to build, not to finish building. We were able to get out of that.
Yeah.
Relatively unscathed.
Yeah.
We had to bring in lawyers, but then after that, we were able to get, everything. So and then we went into trying to find another home, because now we were like, well, we have to move somewhere.
We have to move somewhere, yeah.
So finding that home, and then having.
Right now.
Huh?
What's another house we have now?
No, we went to Grace One.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's that house, and then now we're here.
And then now here.
That's what I'm saying. So.
All right, so let's jump.
Before you go there,
okay.
There was one thing, like I said, and I would say that something that I learned through this whole process for us is for me and my wife, because we had kids, we had a house, and we had to keep moving, we had to keep on going, and I guess I read something, I can't remember where now, but I read something where it says that a lot of people don't. They try to stay in that spot instead of moving on. And when you move on, it helps you be able to grieve the process, going through the process, instead of just staying in that moment and just staying in that moment of that loss. But being able to move on, it allows you to grieve through the process. And like I said, being that we've, it's been what. Wait, 8 years?
For what?
My mom? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. 8 years for my mom, and then 7 for your dad. It's like, we've, I know I've grieved through the entire process of, their loss and everything like that. And it's now for us, like I said, we didn't realize what some of the stuff we was doing, but we were doing things and I'm tying it to what we're going to talk about now. We have done things well when we didn't really think we was doing things well.
Right.
So
that's what we want to get into now, talking about some practical ways to really make it through the holidays when you're grieving the loss of loved ones. I will say that we've been able to not be bitter.
Yes.
Through all of it. Because you could, like you said, get stuck in that moment, just being angry and mad and becoming bitter when the holidays come around. But we've been able to, like I said, process. My grieving process was slower because dealing with pregnancy, I tended to bury my feelings because I'm like, oh, I gotta, have this baby or whatever. So yeah, stop it.
There's some water inside is gonna get you.
Anyway, so all right. So what do? We so we do acknowledge their birthdays.
Yes. And we, like I said, when we say acknowledge, it's not we just say, oh, today's their birthday.
Yeah.
Shonda has a monthly calendar so they can see
so they know
whoever's birthday is coming up. So now they got a better idea when their birthdays are and stuff like that. My oldest, he knows both of them because he was around. So when he sees the name, it's a reminder for him. But it's not just, like I said, I try to tell my oldest to tell your brother and sister about him too.
Yeah.
Because what I can tell the kids about it is going to be different because the relationship he had with both of them.
Because he was spoiled rotten by all the grandparents.
He was. He sure was.
Yeah. So he definitely has a different relationship and perspective to share with them.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me is because my daughter is very much an empathizer, and so I don't want her to, because she will take on like his sadness.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, that's not for you to carry.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we do on birthdays, we try to, like, if they had like a favorite meal or whatever, we'll like eat that and we'll talk about them and we'll show pictures and video. Well, we just found some great video that we have to figure out how to
even
digitize.
just like, since we started to do Thanksgiving, so I've been doing certain things that my mom made just so the kids can say, oh, what is that?
That's the next one, but okay.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Sorry.
That's tradition. So this is just like the videos that we shared or whatever.
Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay.
So so that they can hear their voice and they can see them. They can see sort of their
laughing.
personality.
See them
there.
laughing, having fun, enjoying themselves. Because and that was something that we've always did. We just always try to capture video of holidays or times when we were together. So it's just we got to see it and even show them like some of the ones you just recently found was like. Wow, like it was. I'm glad she found him because, like I said, it just showed. Like I said, the kids got to see his character, and really see that, how our youngest acts.
Yes.
They're like, oh, so they can put two and two together.
Right, because
now.
we say all the time, like, oh my gosh, you act like your granddaddy, but he can't relate to that because he came after my dad passed. So, but seeing those videos and then he's like, oh, okay, I see why. Yeah. So that's good for him to see that connection.
Yeah.
Also too, so as you were going to, we try to incorporate things that we like doing with our parents. Just with our loved ones, because with like into new traditions for our family. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Like baking. Like baking.
Yeah, like baking. So like I make my mom's sweet potato pie recipe. What else? They haven't had my mom's stuffing yet. No.
Press pause. Now, this is to the older generation. If you got a recipe, please share the recipe.
Oh.
Do not hoard recipes. It's a disservice to the family traditions. Share the recipes because first of all, a lot of people don't like to cook. Okay. So if you have a family member who wants to learn, teach, please. If you don't know the recipe, that's fine. Invite them over when you're making it so they can watch. We're willing to learn. I know I am. That message was specifically to a specific aunt. I'm pretty sure she's not watching, but if any of my cousins see this, I need the cake recipe and the peach cobbler. Okay. Sorry.
So like I don't know. I've done the stuffing, but like even just me smoking food, that was something that I did with your dad.
Yes.
And how I've learned how to smoke food, my mop to my rub, all that stuff, was with your dad, because every week he would literally like, what we smoking today, and just go to the store, buy a different type of meat and smoke it, and we'll just eat.
Yep.
Like that was something we did every weekend. So, so like I said, the kids enjoy, ribs, all that stuff. So that's another thing, as well as
Christmas Eve parties.
Oh yeah.
So it was something that we started when were we married yet? When we did our first tasting Christmas Eve?
Yes, we was married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we did that, and the memories that were created.
That was Groton, yeah.
Townhouse.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Remember
it was.
Uncle Howard?
Yeah.
So I think Uncle Howard's death was in.
It was in that same.
Oh,
That's what I'm
gosh.
saying. That's why I said your uncles. That's why I didn't say names.
I'm sorry, because
That's why I said uncles. I didn't want to.
Oh yeah, so many.
Yeah.
But we have Christmas Eve parties, and so now that's like a thing.
Yeah.
Even if we're traveling, we're gonna do some on Christmas Eve that deals with family games, or we have themes sometimes. And Ugly Sweater, we're still working on bringing that one back, because my dad really showed out one year, and I don't think we can ever do that theme justice again. So that's why we've kind of changed the theme here on out, from then.
Yeah, you definitely can.
But also Christmas Eve parties, so that we can have that tradition, and even in that tradition in itself, we have, like I said, like other things.
Yeah.
No, that is the Christmas Eve we would never forget.
Never.
So.
Oh, wow. And we have video of that, too.
Yes, we do. That's why I'm so glad that phone cameras have evolved.
Yeah.
Because the additional footage that we've been able to get.
Yeah.
Because it's just a quick, little video.
Yeah.
And I will say, I know a lot of people push and like, you need to live in the moment and not record. But go ahead and try to record and be in the moment. Like, try to multitask, because at the end, when you just want to hear their voice, a picture can't give you that.
Yeah. No, that's...
So record. Record.
That is true. Like, I have a... and this is... I'm going to just say this. It's all God on this one. Because... after my mom passed, I found something that she gave me. It was a Valentine's Day thing, and it had a picture of me and her in it, and she had audio in it. Let me tell you, I've had that since 2010. Never changed the battery. I've never changed the battery on that thing.
It still works?
Yes, I can go press it right now,
Oh, wow.
and it still works.
Yeah. The one thing, to that point, the one thing that I really hate that happened was that we had got our oldest a book, and we had all the grandparents read to him, read the story, and then recorded it, and then he somehow recorded over it.
Yes, he recorded over it.
And so we don't have that anymore.
So you don't have, like, it would have been good for the other two kids, for them to read.
Well, that was the whole point.
That was the whole point,
yes.
yeah.
And we wanted them to record, for each child that we had, we want them to do a different story.
Yeah.
And he recorded over it.
See,
So.
I could have, at that, I was technical. I should have just recorded the audio right there.
I
ain't think about that.
Because we never thought it was going to be that soon. So we always, because that's the thing, you always think you have time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, not this time, the next time.
Yeah.
You just never know. So that's why I say record, do the thing, stop second guessing, do it, because you just never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And another thing we want to bring up is giving each other grace. Yeah. Okay. So this is huge, because when you're both grieving, it's hard because you're trying to be more selfish in that time. Mm-hmm. But you have to remember that this other person is going through the same thing. Mm-hmm. It won't be the same way.
Yes.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
Sorry. No, it's okay.
I don't know where that came from. So it won't be, you won't grieve the same way. So you have to give each other grace. Mm-hmm. Like if you're sad one day and your spouse is not, that doesn't mean that they are like they're over it.
You can be, why you not sad no more? Like,
yeah, or like, you see me cry, you need to be crying too.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works. And it also could be that like when you're having these moments, you might isolate, but that's okay. Just communicate like, yeah, today's not the day. So I'm gonna need more time to myself. Yeah. So that way they know, like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, they won't take it personally. They'll just know, oh, she's just, or he's just dealing with, his emotions right now.
Yeah. And this is where, again, I said it early and I couldn't remember where it was at. But this is where it says, like, I read this phrase, it says, it sounds crazy, but there's a time to grieve. But you have to move on.
Yeah.
And then that's where the scripture, Ecclesiastes 3 and 4 comes in, is a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. So, and like I said, for me, that was big for me. Like, I'm getting chilled. I'm getting, just by reading that, I can remember the time where I needed to hear that. Because not only, like I said earlier, is like, not only did I have to make sure I can continue to provide for my family, I can continue to be there for my wife, can continue to be there for my kids, and be present and not be sitting, holding on to something, not being there, being present for my family. So.
Yep. I agree with all that. Yeah. And that's why I feel like my grieving process was delayed, because I literally threw myself into like preparation for baby. Yeah. So it was like, I got to do all of this. I got to get this set up. I got to do this, whatever. So and then when the baby's here, of course, then you don't have time to think about anything else, because the baby's like, I need. And so, and then for us to have another child, like, so close, so soon afterwards, it was like, literally, I did not have time to juggle, deal with my emotions, because I'm like, literally, like, oh my gosh, we're having a third baby. Like, our life was not set up for 3. We were set up for 2.
She's a planner.
Exactly. And I found out so late in my pregnancy that I was actually having a baby.
Yeah.
Because, funny story, funny, not funny, was that I felt something moving in my belly, and I thought it was cancer. So I didn't want to go to the doctor, because I was like, we just lost my dad. Yeah. I can't deal with this right now.
Then this is the other fact too. She was getting all these tests.
Yes.
And
when I finally did say, okay, it's like, it's not going away.
Yeah.
Because like, I could just, hope it away.
Yeah.
Pray it away. I was like, okay, it's not going away. I have to go to the doctor.
She went to all these doctors.
Yes.
And not once did they see if she was pregnant.
No, they asked me.
Yeah, they asked you, but they didn't test
do you
her.
think you're pregnant? Absolutely not. I was like, I'm nursing a baby.
So, in the point where I realized, okay, we need to get some pregnancy tests, is because they said, we're gonna have to get surgery, remove your gallbladder. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a doctor, but from my understanding, your body will continue to work with your gallbladder. I'm not saying completely gone, but if it's like 1-2% or something like that, your body will continue to work even with it not working at its capacity. So I was like, no, we're not doing surgery. I was like, let's go get some tests. So I picked some tests up on the way home.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Yeah, they was all positive. And she's like, I still don't believe it. We gotta go to the doctor.
I was like, let's go to the OB.
Yep, we went to the OB and then found out.
And I was pregnant. And he was like, do you want to know what you're having? Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, you're 19 weeks. I said, wait, what?
Yeah. And the thing is, I said that and she didn't believe me, because when all the kids happened, I was very intrigued. So I was looking at all that stuff, and then for when we was going there, I was like, that says 19 weeks.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes.
Wait, and she was like, no. I was like, it says 19 weeks.
Yes. And I was like, I just could not believe it. So so then it's like, we have to plan, like we got to how are we gonna deal with 2 babies like at the same time, and like the whole thing, because like I said, I'm like Jay said, I'm a planner, and this was unplanned because we were gonna have 2 children. Whatever we had, if it was 2 boys or 2 girls, whatever, we were gonna just have 2, and then we had 3 and have to shift. So so because of all that, it delayed my grieving process. But it's still there. There's good days. There's more good days than bad. And what I really try to do on the days where it's not, where I'm more sad, is just spend time with the good memories. Yeah. Because I know in death we tend to glorify those who have died. My dad was not a perfect person. He got a lot wrong. Yeah. But even in the things he got wrong, the way, like, he was still true to himself. Like, he was still who he is. Yeah. So I can even laugh at those memories. Kind of like, oh, yeah, he really messed up that time. But it's funny now looking back. So yeah. What are some things that we would do differently? Yeah. Knowing what we know, since we've gone through so much now, what would we do differently?
Actually get our son in therapy.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things, because we shielded him from everything that was going on.
Yeah, we tried to.
We tried to, but I think he like I said, after she passed, he kept asking where she was at, because he kept asking, like, where is grandma? And it was like, we kept just saying, she's not here, but we didn't really go like deep into it, because again, we didn't think he was gonna understand being at the age that he was. So we was really just, kind of shielding him from that, and we
didn't want him to be afraid of hospitals.
Yes, yeah.
It was a whole thing.
It was a lot. So, and like I said, so he was able to.
We didn't know nothing better.
Yeah, we didn't. But like I said, after a while, not say it got easier, but he understood that, she's no longer coming back to the house, that she won't be here coming back, but she's always going to be with him, because that was something we always said, because he had all those memories, he had all those moments with her, it's like, and we always had to tell him, like, she's always with you, you have the memories, but she's not coming back to the house like that. Right.
Yeah, and we got. I did reach out to a therapist, a child therapist, and they gave me some book recommendations, so that were age appropriate, and so we did that to help kind of have the conversation. And then we just let him start talking, like sharing whatever, like memories and stuff. And so now, like I said, we're trying to encourage more, because we don't want him to forget. Yeah. So we try so he can share with his brother and sister. So,
and then I guess the last one was being open about the impact of the end of our year on our attitudes and demeanor with our kids. So being that this time is always emotional for us. It's like,
because they haven't lived.
They haven't lived through They
have not lived through it.
So we have to we gotta be. So we have to explain to them what this time is, but at the same time to show them that we're gonna continue to make memories. During these times, we're gonna we said earlier, we're gonna show them who they were, so they can get snapshots of them, even though they may not get what we got. They're able to get those snapshots from them. So.
Yeah. And we just have to let them know, like, we've suffered a lot of loss, but so even though we're sad, we're not, like, it's not something that they've done. Like, we have to just kind of provide more language around our feelings during this time, because we also don't want them to equate sadness with the holidays, and that's why we try to have these, we still try to incorporate, like, these or execute these family traditions or create new ones that bring back those memories and leaves them with positive and happy memories around this part of the year.
So I guess
I think I'm all cried out. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna equate it to me also being hungry. So I can't control my hunger and my emotions at the same time. So, that's what I'm gonna blame it on.
So I guess our marriage advance tip
What is you have it?
No, I was just
Oh.
I kind of just was gonna come up with something like, you know. Oh, you have something?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, okay. So, I guess the marriage advance tip is to be honest with each other during this time. Know that because even without grief, holidays can be triggering.
Yes.
Because families are families, right? And there's all kinds of dynamics or whatever.
Families.
I was like, I want to say family be family, but you know. So be honest with each other.
Yeah.
Remember that you are each other's safe place. And so if you don't have it in you, any like a particular day or even at, you know, attending a family gathering, just be honest with your spouse. Like, I don't have it.
Yeah.
So that way you can then, second part of the is the marriage advance tip is to make an exit strategy. So be like, okay, I don't have it in me today, but let's just go show face for like 10, 15 or whatever, you know, figure out the time or figure out the boundaries and then figure out how you're going to leave.
Yeah.
Or even though you might go to an event or start, you know, hanging out with family and you're fine until somebody says or does something that triggers those emotions. So before you go to that thing or before you host that thing, have an exit strategy.
Yeah, that's good.
Be like, okay, babe, so if some pop off,
Time to go.
well, either time to go or especially if you're hosting, where you gonna go? You be like, okay, so if I'm in the room,
I'm gonna take a time out. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I gotta get it together before I come out, because what you don't want to teach your children is that they, no matter what, they should suppress their feelings and to save face.
Yeah.
You just need to have a plan in place. And then, like I said, for us, it's very important during this part of the year for us to over communicate with each other, because usually, or not usually, but when you're going through grief and you're not over communicating or even communicating, that can create division.
Yeah.
And then your marriage deteriorates just from this one little wedge that the devil will use to magnify, and then you're fighting about stuff that is really insignificant in the larger scheme of things. So yeah, so that's the marriage advance tip. I have survived and I'm going to eat now.
Well, share this with somebody. Subscribe, listen.
Yes.
You know, listen to other episodes.
Honestly, we hope that this helped somebody.
Yeah, we hope it did.
Yes, please let us know in the comments if this helped or if we should never try to address it. I don't know. Just give us some feedback.
Yes, and I guess if there's any other topics you guys would like us to bring to you guys, just send us a DM, email us. You can go to our webpage, the bsideofmarriage.com, and hit contact us, and you can fill it out and, you know, let us know.
Yes.
Well,
That's it for this week.
all right.
Peace.
Peace.